So how you write function? Let's say for example def keyword. You say as so this is a syntax, right? Def keyword, function name, these are parameters, and then the parameters you basically can use return keyword to return the statement. So you can return x plus 1. And here you call the function by its name. Let's say you can pass parameters to the function, whatever it returns, you can store it in a variable. Let's say q1, new print q1, right? So q1 value will be 12 plus 3, 15. If you right click and run, it will be 15. So this is a basic function. Okay. So let's say we say integer as parameter and integer as return type. We'll write a function which will take integer as a parameter and integer as return type. Okay. So above was the example of same only, but still we'll take one more. Let's say I said subtraction b, xy will be integer and return statement will also be integer. So if I call the function sub b and I pass 12 comma 6, so whatever it returns me I store it to a variable, let's say q2. And if I print q2, it will be 12 minus 6. So this is 12 minus 6. Now I will take float as a parameter and float as return type. So def keyword and you say calculate radius. Here the value you return into value. That's it. Let's say you call a function and you pass a boolean value to it. So here float as a parameter. So this is as a parameter and float as a return type because I have deliberately make it 2.0. So if you store it, float as a parameter and float as a return type. So if you store it and you print it, still Q3 will be float value. Now, let's say this is program 3. Now I am taking Boolean as a parameter and Boolean as a return type. So Boolean as parameter, Boolean as parameter, and Boolean as return type. So Boolean as parameter and Boolean as a return type. So let's say for example def. So let's say can drive and I'm taking two parameters, vehicle available, and I'm taking next parameter is age. So let's say if vehicle is available and age greater than equal to 18, done. return true. Return false. I call the method, let's say I say vehicle available to be true. So I'm passing boolean as a parameter argument and I am saying is to be 20. So from here I will be getting this return true. So boolean as a parameter and boolean as a return type. So this true will be going into vehicle available, this 20 will be going into age, this condition will be true and it will return me a boolean value which is again true. So I can store that into a variable, let's say Q4, and I can basically print Q4. So Q4 will be true. Okay. So we started with integer as a parameter, integer as a return type. Then we have went to float as a parameter, float as a return type, boolean as a parameter, boolean as a return type. Okay. Just revising you the data types along with the function. Let's say now we have string as parameter, string as parameters, and string as return type. Now it will be string as parameter and string as return type. Anyone? So df, you say greet, and I'm greeting and I'm sending a one word. And I'm returning from here. Good plus word plus word. So when I'm calling the method, I'm saying morning. Whatever it returns, I'm showing it a variable. If I print Q5, if I run it, it should be a string, it's not a variable, right? Yeah. Now if I run it, it will say good morning. So return type is also string. So string, we are sending string as a parameter and we are returning string as a return type. String as a parameter, string as a return type. Then we have, let's say, what data type we have studied apart from this list, right? So let's say list as parameter, list as parameter, and list as return type. Now we have list as parameter and list as return type. So this is, let's say, list A. And we want to add more value to it. So let's say define, and I say add element, and I'm passing that function the list. And what I will be doing, I will be on this list, I will append another number. So append is the method on the list only, and I want to append the number 55. And then from here, I want to return the same list. So if you call this function add element and pass this list to it, which is list A, it will return you another list which I stored into Q6. This time I am sending the list as a parameter of the function, and the return type will also be list. So list as a parameter and list as a return type. So now this list type will be going into this list. On this list, I will be adding one element which is 55 with the append method, and I am from this add element, I am returning the same list. So if I print Q6, right click and run. So value of 20, 33, 44 and 25. This much is clear. Now let's say dictionary. Next will be dictionary as parameter. Program 6. Let's say dictionary as parameter and dictionary as return type. So this time we have dictionary as a parameter and dictionary as return type. So let's add one dictionary. Let's say info. How you define dictionary? You define dictionary like this. Categories. We have the first name. We have the value. Last name. Value. And we have age, value, and roll number also. And then with the roll number also you have the value. So this is a dictionary. So you want to add city to it, let's say. One more property value you want to add, and for that you are using the method. So you say def add city. To this function I am passing a dictionary. So I say info. So I am passing this info dictionary. Let's say, and what you need to do, you need to add it. So you can add it like this info, or you can update. There's an update method on dictionary. Update the same dictionary with another key. The key will be city, and the value of it will be, let's say, correct. So this function will add city to whatever the dictionary you pass to it. Okay. So I will say instead of info, I will say dictionary or dic, or you say info information. Let's say into the information. I'm updating the information. Let's I called it add city. And to the add city, I am passing info. And whatever it returns, I am storing that to a variable. Let's say Q7. And print Q7. If I run this, okay, you should return dictionary from here. So I have not returned the dictionary for information. You should return the same dictionary. So dictionary as a parameter and dictionary as a return type. So now this dictionary info will be going into information. It will add city and city as property and Pune as value to it. And if I right click and run this, you will see another properties added to the dictionary. So my example 6 was dictionary as a parameter and dictionary as a return type. This much is clear. Say you have now which data types are remaining? Tuple. Tuple as parameter and tuple as return type. We have tuple as parameter and tuple as return type. Let's say, for example, you have a tuple where you have marks. and marks is 12, 13, and 14. So this is a tuple. And let's say from this tuple, you want to update the third value, but you cannot tuples, you cannot update tuple, right? So what we write? We write update marks and pass a tuple to it. I will call this tuple A. What I will do, I will call this update marks and pass tuple to it. So tuple will be marks. But you cannot update any value on tuple, right? It's a fixed length. You cannot reassign it. So how will I do it? I will first make the tuple into a list. So I will make this tuple into a list first. So once it is a list, right, I can update value on it. So now it's a list. So I want to update this value. So what I will do on this list, I will say list of 0, 1, 2 will be 200. And that I will make it 15. So I updated the value on the list. By retrieving the value, I updated the value. Now what you can do, you can simply again make it into the tuple by wrapping it around the tuple method. So like this, you store it into a variable again. So now the value is updated. What I have done, I have sent this parameter tuple to our update marks. I convert that to the list because the lists are, you can basically reassign the values to this. I have taken that list. So this is list. Now this is list. I will basically retrieve the value by index. So list of 2, I'm updating it to 15. And now I'm again converting that list to tuple. So how will I convert that list to tuple by wrapping it around tuple. So now this is again back to the tuple. So once I am back, so once it is again converted back to tuple, I will return it from here. So you cannot directly update tuple. So you need to make that to the list, update the value, and again convert back that to the tuple. So tuple as a parameter, and again at the last it will returning with tuple only as a return type. So with tuple you can unpack. So I can unpack the tuple into A, B, and C. So it returns by tuple, and the first element will be going into A, the second element will be going into B, and the third element will be going into C. So you can simply print here, print A, print B, and print C. If I right click and run this, tuple, okay, tuple is not defined. So there is no wrapper class or what? Okay, tuple, complete tuple you should be writing. Yeah, it's fine now. See, it basically unpack the 3 elements and print it. So tuple, I send tuple as a parameter, and in return I get tuple as return type. This is fine. Tuple as parameter, tuple as return type. And now the remaining one is list as parameter, sorry, set as parameter, set as parameter, and set as return type. And set as return type. So now we have set as parameter and set as return type. So you know set how to define the set, it stores only unique values, right? So it's a so you want to add the value to set, right? So there's the add method, right? So def add value, that's it. And to that I'm passing one set x. Then set x dot append is the method, add is the method. So you can add the value and then again you can return the set x. I'm calling this function. While calling this function add value, I am passing it a set a, let's say. And whatever it returns me, I will store that into a variable, let's say q2. If I print q2 again, it will be set and one additional value of 77 because 66 is already there. It does not allow duplicate values. If you run this, you see another value is there, 77. So what I have done here, we have just gone through every data types again. We have gone through set, dictionary, tuple, list, string, float, boolean, integer. Now here it starts the lambda function. Lambda function. Lambda function. Another way of writing the function. Let's say for example, here it's you can write the function as expression also, right? So you say lambda and this is the parameter and what is this is the return type. You say x into x. So I have written a function which returns me x into x. Okay. So this lambda is a keyword. This is the parameter to the function, and this is the return. What it will be returning? It will return me x into x. Let's say I store into a variable. So you can simply store that into a variable. So this expression is function, and the name of this expression is, let's say, multiplication. So if you simply call multiplication and pass the value 3 to it, so this 3 will be going into x as a parameter and return will be 3 into 3. This is called as lambda function. Yeah, this is clear. So if you run this, you will be getting output as 9. Obviously, you need to print it. So print the output, and the output will be 9. Save. Um, so it is 9. Clear? Let's say, for example, more examples of lambda function. Let's say now function as a parameter. Function as a parameter and function as return type. So now we are taking function as a parameter only and function as a return type. So here what we can do, simply let's say I am saying this is the lambda function I am writing for addition. So I say lambda, whatever you get, just add 2 to it. So this is a lambda function which basically adds 2. Now I'm writing a function adding values. Adding values. So my function name is adding values and I'm passing that function this add to function. Okay. And another, let's say another parameter. And I'm calling this function adding values. When I'm calling this function adding values, not as return type, function as parameter. This is example of function as parameter. So when I'm calling this adding values method, I'm passing this lambda function add to it. And the value of x will be 6. So to this adding values function, what I have done, I have passed another function which is add to. This add to will be going into here. So let's call it function fn. So indirectly what will be happening, this complete lambda function will be going into this fn. And now what will behind the scenes, what will be the value of fn? The value of fn will be this only, lambda function. And what is the value of x? We said 6. So let's call the function now. So here, let's say I'm calling the function f6 fn along with the value 6. So this same lambda function I called with fn with value 6. So the value of x will be 6. So 6 plus 2 it will return me. So whatever it returns me, I'm returning from here. So adding value is returning me 8, which I stored into Q4. And now let's say I print Q4. So let's say if I print Q4 and run this. See 8. So this time you try to understand this. This is another function. This function I am sending as parameter to this fn function. Okay. Then I am calling that fn function with the value which is the second parameter I passed. So this lambda function is called with the 6 value. This 6 will be basically going into here x. And I am basically saying x plus 6 plus 2. 6 plus 2, that value I am returning from this adding value function, which I stored into Q4 and I print Q4. So if I right click and run this, I'll be getting 8. Is this fine? Function as a parameter. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go for the last program. Function as a return type. Function as a return type. And type. So I say calculate age. So def calculate age. Let's say I have a function which is calculate age. To this I am passing another function, or let's say value 7. Let's say x value I'm passing it, and this returns me. This function is returning me another function, another lambda function, and this lambda function will be x 2003 23 minus h, and here also I'm passing h. Let's say okay. So this is the function which returns me another function. So calculate age. So when I call the calculate age, and I think I'm passing it the value of, let's say, should not be passing value of age here. You should be passing birth year. Birth year. And to the birth year, you want to calculate the age. Let me. So let's say I passed 1989. So this returns me this lambda function. So I stored that into a variable a. And if I call a now and print it, I might be getting the age. Let's see. What as expected. Okay, calculate age. Calculate age lambda, we are missing one portion argument, right? No, it is not working. That's JavaScript. Okay, let's see. How can you create an example for this then? Let's say you take function as a return type, right? Okay, right. Define calculate birth year. No point of this. Okay, let's say simply this function returns me another function lambda function, and I call this calculate age, and I store it in a variable, let's say q1. So the q1 is basically this lambda function, and then calling the q1. So you can simply call q1 and you pass an birth year to it or age to it. Obviously, it should be birth year, not age, right? Birth year. And here also birth year. So that I pass 1989 to it. So it will return me. It will return me the calculated age, which will be 34. The person who was born in 1989, his age will be 34. This example does not make that much sense, but the point here is that you can, from a function, you can also return another function. So function as return type. Here, you have taken the function as a parameter. So function can be also, because it's a first class function can be also used as a parameter and as a return type. Is this clear? This much is clear?
Yes.
Yeah. You can problem practice this 10. Next time we'll start with the map filter and reduce methods. Okay? So, map filter and reduce. This is clear? Yeah. Thank you.
No, not really. I
have a,
need to watch video again.
Come again?
I need to watch your video again
You need to
for more
watch.
clear. Your YouTube videos again.
I
To
will upload it. Yeah, I will upload this.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
I have a question on the last previous class. No, you already have a JPG file in Python, but like if to upload that, what is the procedure?